question I get asked a lot is, how do you see spirits, and are they good or evil or bad? It's a tough question, and I'll try and give you some answers about how I perceive spirits. I guess I've been seeing spirits ever since I was a young child, I think. I remember my dad was a caretaker of a school, or janitor of a school if you're in America, and so we kind of had the free run of the school after school hours and holidays and things. And I found the corridors quite terrifying because I could sort of see spirits and things. I used to run through them like hell and get through to the other end. I was fascinated and scared at the same time. We all have the ability to see spirits, but how well we perceive them and the way we perceive them depends a lot on our upbringing and things like this. My belief about spirits is that they are expressions of consciousness. Now, what do I mean by consciousness? Consciousness is an expression of being. Well, it is actually being. And it's impossible to give any kind of quality to consciousness. It is. You can't even say it is actually. It's something that's there. And when I perceive spirits at the final levels, they are expressions of air. Air being this, you can't see air unless there's loads of pollution or something like that. Air is invisible. You can just see things through air. And it's the same with spirits. There's something in the air that I become aware of, and there's a communication. It's more like a communion actually, rather than a communication. So there isn't this kind of thing you get in a horror films or something like that, where this sort of entity or thing, apparition appears and things happen or things move. The reason why you get those things where like poltergeist or things move or noises, basically because the spirit or entity hasn't been able to get your attention by any other means. It's a bit like a child, you know, with its mother, 2 years old or something. It's its mother, mummy, and the mother ignores her. Mother ignores her and keeps on doing it. Then starts pulling the skirt. The mother still ignores her, and mother ignores her. And eventually, the kids start screaming or shouting and tantrums until the mother finally says, "Yes, darling, what do you want?" Spirits are just exactly the same. You know, it's deeply frustrating when you're trying to talk to someone who ignores you. And that's basically what we've done. And part of the reason why we ignore them is because we're looking for them in the wrong place. When I talk about consciousness, that's a non-contextual reality. What I mean by non-contextual reality is that there's no duality. There isn't good, bad, evil, communist, capitalism, demonic, spiritual, angelic. All these kind of labels that sort of define things as better or worse than, higher, lower. They're all contextual labels that hold you in a place where that spirit or entity is defined by your spiritual or religious beliefs. And in non-contextual reality, they exist. And so in order to have that kind of communion, that kind of expression of knowledge between spirit and the person, it has to work on a level of being. And the problem is, of course, is that most of us don't act from that level of being. We're kind of stuck in the world of life, death, family, work, career, money problems, relationships, love affairs, divorces, bringing up the children. All these things pull us away from non-contextual reality. And to define this kind of non-contextual reality takes many, many years of meditation, yoga, for example, or in Islam there's Sufism. There's all sorts of other ways. And, you know, part of the problem with working with spirits is that people try and define them in a kind of geography or place. You know, they're at this level on the tree of life, or this is a lower level in the angelic realms, or in the earth, or all sorts of other places. And it's a, you know, and there's It's a bit like if somebody gets your name wrong and keeps on getting your name wrong. It's really annoying. And, spirits find the same kind of thing that happens to them. They're also very tolerant and very loving. So that, this idea that they're demonic or evil, comes out of religion to try and control you, and so the only way to see these things is through the priesthood. And it's not true. Anyone can see them. And where they perceive them isn't sort of in heavens or something like this. It's within their own awareness. Sometimes it can be within in the heart, but oftentimes they're just around them in the air, something like this. Now I do perceive them as well, in the sense of get visions about them. And the reason they appear in a particular shape is because of various books like the goetia, goetic spirits, where they're actually described as having a form of various things. And the reason why a spirit would appear like that is just to show you that he or she is that spirit. Sometimes I get the name as well. And it's purely just it's a bit like an email address. When you reply to someone's email address, you think you're talking to them, but of course you're not. It's just an email address. It's just a tag. And it's the same with the spirits as well. And my experience of spirits is that they're wonderful fun. They want to help us. We ignore them. Sometimes we want to help them, but we're looking for them in the wrong place. And back to the email analogy, if you get just one letter wrong in an email address, it doesn't get there. It's just lost in ether, disappeared. So, many people have problems with spirits, and, because you're living a life where, life just takes over, you don't have time for these things, and you have any kind of problem. And these problems can manifest in your home life, health, domestic arrangements, personal things, financial problems, businesses, career, places where you live, problems within the house that you live, or something like this. You don't have time to really kind of go into these things and find a solution to them. So the job that I have many times is to talk about these things and help people, and also there's things that can be done to talk to these spirits and release them and allow them to go on their way. Maybe they wanted a message given to you, or there's some other thing that needs to be done in the house to change things. So it's you don't have to be frightened of them, but they are a problem, and the problem is a lot to do with the way we see them. So if you really want help on these things, give me a call, or you can contact me from the website or email, and I'll see what I can do for you.